Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. So here we are today with a new series which I've been planning for a very long time, and I was looking for a partner and finally found one in the form and shape of Ahmed Abdullah. Ahmed, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine. So the plan is that we will be giving the opportunity to ask to Ahmed so that he asks questions on behalf of his community, which is the youth. So he'll be asking me questions and we'll be having deep conversations, which we are calling Deenversations. So these will be basically looking at topics, various topics about religion, topics about politics, topics about health, topics about social problems. And we will have a discussion on those topics. And these discussions will hopefully be not very long, one discussion, hopefully not more than 10 minutes, so that you can keep your focus and participate. And we would like you, the audience, to ask your questions as well, if you have any, through comments or reaching out to us. And this way, inshallah, we will try to seek and gain Allah's pleasure. So, Ahmed, what do you have on mind for today?
Thank you so much for this opportunity. And I was just thinking that since it's the dawn of Ramadan,
Oh, yes,
so
Mabruk, congratulations.
thank you. Congratulations to you too. And since we're getting into Ramadan, and obviously the youth face many problems during Ramadan, and they struggle sometimes nowadays, especially because
You
of
mean in getting hungry and thirsty?
yeah, not for people like me, but you see,
Okay.
I'm skinny. So I was just asking if there's any cautions that you might give to the youth about Ramadan, or any advice that you have specifically for this
That's a good one,
specific
and I
time
would
period.
say that's a difficult one. I think, of course, there is this general advice which they'll be getting from everyone, which is to maximize their ibadah, their spiritual connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Of course.
And so I won't talk about that part. They should do that, and inshallah they'll be doing that. But I would rather think that there's some problems recently, in recent years, propping up in the month of Ramadan. If you talk about Pakistan, for instance, you have a complete ecosystem built around distracting people from Ramadan, from ibadat, from their fasting,
In what forms?
in the form of various television programs which are formulated and designed around iftar and the discussions of Ramadan, and these are shows. I think you haven't watched
Yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah. Of
And
course.
yeah, so that's Pakistan.
Yeah.
So you have to try and stay away from these distractions. They'll be destroying your Ramadan. They'll be destroying your focus, your ibadat, and everything. Because this is really, it's a blessed month, and it's an opportunity. You can think of it like as if there's a sale of good deeds. So there's a discount on good deeds. So you can just do something and get the reward of many things. So you don't want to waste your time. You don't want to be hooked onto Netflix or television or any other thing. Rather focus on that. That's one thing. And then there's something maybe even more profound, and that is the understanding about this month. So there is a misconception regarding this month that it's something which is just spiritual. And it is not like that, it never was like that, and it shouldn't be like that. Rather, Ramadan is not just an opportunity to restart yourself in terms of your ibadat and your spirituality. Rather, this restart must be more holistic. And when I say holistic, I mean that each one of us should be looking into their whole lives, and they should be looking at the ummah as well. And they should be looking at, for instance, they should be looking at Gaza and ask themselves the question that what is happening with them? Can I do something? Have I done enough? Have the people around me done enough? Have I knocked enough doors? Have I spoken at the loudest of my voice? Have I utilized all the channels which I have at my access, whether it's Facebook or I don't know,
But
Twitter.
how does this tie down to the act of ibadah that's the main center of Ramadan?
Oh, very good question. I think the understanding which we today have to develop is that look, this deen is not just a spiritual deen, because it's not a religion actually. It's a deen, which means it's a way of life, it's a complete system. And when I say complete system, it means that aren't these people in Gaza actually our brethren? Doesn't Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say in the Quran, إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةً, that the Muslims are indeed brothers?
Of course.
Similarly, Rasulullah says that when something, the Muslims are like a body, and when something happens to one part of the body, like you have a broken hand or a hurt finger or something, the whole body responds with restlessness and fever. So if it's not happening already, that we feel that restlessness and we are in that fever, this is the time that we realize that this should have been the case. We should have been very restless. And I think it can't be a better opportunity than to have a Ramadan and think about these things and re-evaluate our allegiance to those people who are suffering, whether it's the Kashmiris, whether it's the Uyghurs, whether it's the Gazans and the Palestinian
Quite a
Muslims.
deep topic. I just want to track back to what you said about the celebrations and the discounts on everything. Isn't Ramadan a very happy month for Muslims and a very special month for Muslims? And so shouldn't we partake in, any sort of leisure that comes our way in the way of Ramadan that celebrates Ramadan? Because in a way we are celebrating Ramadan.
Well, I'm not sure whether celebrating Ramadan should be similar to celebrating Eid. So I think what you're mentioning are those 3 days of Eid, which are really a celebration. So there you have that kind of happiness everywhere, and that should be the case. But Ramadan, I don't think, is that kind of a month where we would be celebrating it in that sense. Rather, we celebrate the blessing of Ramadan. We celebrate that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us another Ramadan. He chose us for this month so that we can somehow acquire His forgiveness.
Okay, that makes sense.
So
That's great.
we're done for today?
No, obviously not. How are, Muslims in Ramadan, especially the youth, how do we navigate our social life in Ramadan? So because the media outlets and most of the muftis online, they always tell us to focus solely on ibadah. And is there no way to make Ramadan a fun time as well as a time where ibadah grows?
Again, as I said, I would not really think, okay, fun, yes, why not? But if you mean with fun that you focus on your studies, you focus somewhat on your games. So yes, Ramadan is something in which many people enjoy playing games at night as well. So they do the Taraweeh prayer, then they are awake till the Sahur, the Sahri time, and then they have a lot of games. So yes, I would not particularly encourage that and say that because again, it's the point is you don't want to miss an opportunity. But we are humans, and we need our time, and we need also some relaxation, and we need sports, and it's a good to have that. So yes, that is the case. And Ramadan is actually not an easy month for many in terms of maintaining their routine. So I think they should really focus on their routine and from day one have some kind of fixed schedule when they sleep, when they wake up, because otherwise the whole month will be spent just struggling and you will not be able to meet your goals. And goals, it's very important, I think, that each one of us makes some goals for Ramadan at the very beginning. I think this is one important advice I would give to myself and to your generation as well. To have some, so reading a page of the Quran after every prayer, trying to finish one para every day, and not just limiting yourself to reciting the Quran,
but understanding.
Exactly. That's again the important part. So here is where the culture pulls us down sometimes to just limit ourselves to reciting. And here we need to be a bit intellectual about it and understand that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is really, it's not just us coming up with the sounds of those words which are written in there if we don't understand them. So it might get us, inshallah, some reward to do that, but it's not enough.
Okay, that's great. What are some common misconceptions about Ramadan by the youth? Or maybe some mistakes that we commonly make?
Misconceptions and mistakes. I think the biggest mistake is thinking that this month is about not eating, not drinking, and then trying to dodge your hunger and your thirst. And you dodge it by sleeping, you dodge it by watching TV,
Yeah.
you dodge it by using social media. And I think this is also the mistake, letting go easily of this opportunity and not using and utilizing every minute of it. Look, this month is a month where it would be someone very unlucky who does not seek and get forgiveness. We need to think on it like that. So this month is really something about ensuring that. And again, when I say forgiveness, it shouldn't be just that spirituality and rituals come to your mind. Rather, yes, rituals, yes, recitation of the Quran, yes, qiyam, everything. But it should be connected with the current reality of Muslims.
Okay.
Because it's not possible that one part of you is suffering and the other part is enjoying. It's also not possible that one part of you is suffering and the other part is doing ibadah and not really caring about them. So we have to connect this deen, our aqidah, it's a political aqidah.
It has to be interwoven.
It has to be interwoven.
Okay.
So I think we are done with the first episode, which is usually the most difficult one. And inshallah, we'll be coming up again tomorrow. So we'll have one episode every day, inshallah, and we'll have a new topic. So thank you very much. Jazakallah khair for watching. Assalamu alaikum.